From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Lisa Laporte. The union representing some 750 employees at Canadian National Railway says it's given the railway a 72-hour strike notice backed by a 95% strike mandate as the union pushes for better work-life balance and higher pay. The employees work in signals and communications. A recall has been issued for some types of Century brand tuna that was sold across Canada.
The Canadian Food Inspection Agency issued a recall notice for two types of the brand's hot and spicy tuna, which were found to contain wheat that was not listed in the ingredients. The notice warns people with wheat or gluten allergies not to eat the tuna. The recalled products are 180-gram cans of their light tuna flakes in hot and spicy sauce and flaked light tuna hot and spicy style. The recall notice is asking people and businesses not to serve or distribute the tuna, noting it should be thrown out or returned to the store where it was purchased. Naira Ahmed, The Canadian Press.
The lawyer for a BC climate activist facing deportation back to Pakistan says he's holding out hope his client will be allowed to stay in the country. Randall Cohen says his client Zane Hack might still be allowed to stay if the federal immigration minister steps in, which he says remains a possibility. Hack is due at Vancouver International Airport tonight to board a series of flights bound for Pakistan, but Cohen says his client's fate is still up in the air.
The ministers overseeing IRCC and CBSA, respectively, have the authority to step in up until the very last moment and direct them to abandon enforcement. And certainly in other matters that I have been involved in, their decision to do that has happened at the 11th hour. So we are still holding out hope and are going to continue to do so right until his plane leaves from Toronto tomorrow afternoon.
Hack co-founded the activist group Save Old Growth and pleaded guilty to mischief charges over his role in protests in 2021 and 2022 that blocked roadways. An earlier attempt to deport him was temporarily stopped last April. Canadian and U.S. Coast Guards continue to try and break up the ice around a freighter that's been trapped in Lake Erie for days. Officials say the Manitoulin had 17 people on board when it got stuck Wednesday after dropping off a load of wheat in Buffalo. They say the ship wasn't damaged and its crew is safe. And Pete Hegseth has been sworn in as America's 29th Secretary of Defense. It comes less than 12 hours after a dramatic late-night vote in the U.S. Senate. The unusually narrow confirmation came after questions from members in both parties about Hegseth's qualifications to lead the military amid allegations of heavy alcohol use and aggressive behavior toward women. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, David Pastrnak had a goal and 2 assists as the Boston Bruins beat the Colorado Avalanche 3-1 in NHL action today. Here's the call on WBZ as Pastrnak scores the empty netter and the Bruins take a 3-1 lead.
Now moving up ice, Nate Just try to play it into the center, picked off. Here's Pastrnak, scores! David Pastrnak with the empty netter with 2.3 to go. The Bruins are going to get a come-from-behind win here on home ice.
Elsewhere in the NHL, the Montreal Canadiens host the New Jersey Devils tonight. Calgary is at Minnesota. Toronto visits Ottawa, and Washington is in Vancouver. The Toronto Scepters beat the New York Sirens 4-2 today in PWHL action, and the Toronto Raptors are looking for their 3rd straight win in the NBA tonight as they take on the Atlanta Hawks. From the Canadian Press, I'm Lisa Laporte.